Welcome to Pax Europiana here from Pristina, the capital of the Republic of Kosovo. Here you see the founder of the Republic, President Rugova, and the institutions. Here is the Parliament of the Republic of Kosovo, the Presidential Office, and here is the European Union headquarters, and here is the government building. This is the very central square, and here is the Mother Teresa street actually. That's the most holy person of the Albanians. And it's here the old town. Maybe to just give you some orientation, here again Rugova, over there the old town of Pristina. I'm here today to call for the recognition of the Republic by our European partners and allies. We have here Spain, NATO and EU member, Greece, NATO and EU member, Cyprus, EU member. We were very generous to take you in 2004 as a divided and country partly occupied by Turkey. We have also Romania, which is very poor country. We took in very early. Also Spain, by the way, was very poor when we took it into the European Union. And you have also Slovakia, also a very poor country with Major and everybody, and we gave you a chance, and now it's time to pay back. Yeah? And that's my call here. I also will include here Ukraine, Moldova and Georgia, which I support in the name of European taxpayers to get EU potential candidate status and NATO, and also adopt the euro. And I call obviously also for Bosnia and for Serbia to recognize here the Republic of Kosovo. So these are the main countries in Europe, the 5 EU countries, and then you have the 3 countries from who wants to join the European Union. And then obviously it's also then Armenia and Azerbaijan, but Armenia is a Russian ally. It's Belarus will be soon part of Russia, I guess, after Anschluss. So we have Azerbaijan, which is a partner and ally of Turkey, and so indirectly of us as well. So ultimately Azerbaijan should also recognize Kosovo. So these are the countries which actually we as European taxpayers, as President of Europeans for Tax Reform, we are funding. It's the Europeans who transfer massively to Spain since membership, before membership, and now in the Corona crisis. But the same to Greece, to Cyprus, to Slovakia, to Romania. It's not that they contribute to the European pool of solidarity, but they are taking. Same is true for Ukraine, same is true for Moldova, for Georgia, and also same is true for Bosnia, a country which was stabilized and liberated, and the war was ended by NATO, and since then it's supported and reconstructed by European taxpayers and Japanese and Americans, who both have also recognized Kosovo. So we have this field of countries where I'm very much focusing, which are then supported by the European taxpayers significantly from Spain, Greece, Cyprus, Romania, Slovakia, and then Moldova, Ukraine and Georgia, and to some extent also Azerbaijan. And they have all not recognized Kosovo. By the way, Lebanon is also a country which we are heavily subsidizing and will more in the future, and then they are also not recognizing. So what is my call now? I call all of them. We need more unity in Europe. That means we need to have a common foreign policy, we need more solidarity, we have the recovery fund, but that means also that you fall in line with our EU foreign policy decisions and with the decisions of the netto payers, please. Yeah? And in order, because I understand that none of the countries will do that voluntarily, because they all think they are the only one that matter, and we have to pay, and we have to somehow be dominated by their foreign policy or internal fragilities, like the issue of Catalonia and the issue of the Hungarian minority in Slovakia and Romania, the issue of Turkey and Cyprus, the issue of Greece, whatever they have an issue. I don't know exactly historic friendship with Serbia, because they stole the Bulgarian, Macedonia, whatever the exact reason is here. Orthodox friendship, I'm interested. It's not that I don't care. I read a lot about history, try to learn everything, but I'm very clear here. The conclusion is, we need to freeze all the European funding for all the countries which the European Union is funding until they have recognized the Republic of Kosovo. It's very simply, no money from the recovery fund, no money from the cohesion fund, no money from any other funding of the European Union, which is mainly funded by Austria, Germany, Sweden, the Netherlands, France, Belgium, Finland. Denmark. These are the countries who are paying into the pot, and it's also good, I'm very much for solidarity in the European Union. I say yes. I have called in public, supported also the 2020 Recovery Fund. I have also supported the new Jobs, Growth and Unity Fund for Eastern European infrastructure. I'm very pro-European, absolutely, and I think all reasonable people are, because it's the good thing to do. But I'm also very much a pro-common foreign policy. On Ukraine, we have a common foreign policy. All countries need to do that, yeah? Because, you cannot be united in getting something, taxpayers funding or the opportunities of the European Union, and then they say, oh, because we had a problem in 1913, we lost the Second Balkan War, and Bulgaria is now blocking Macedonia, for example. Yeah? I feel very sorry. It was maybe unfair that the Romanians fell in your northern border, or the Greeks and the Serbs made this secret deal against you. All unfair maybe. But, it's now 2021. We have also, different realities. Yeah? And it's now the unfairness of Bulgaria against Macedonia, which is unacceptable. And so on and so on. Also Bulgaria must be under this line, because it's not only Kosovo, it's also Macedonia, it's also the question of Ukrainian sanctions. These are our vital foreign policy internal kind of divisions. Yeah? The recognition of Kosovo, the Ukraine sanctions, the Macedonian membership question now with Bulgaria, and maybe some others. So what I say now is that Austria, as a member country, and with a government which is led by coincidence, yeah, the populist Kurz is gone, but now he's a very reasonable man, Chancellor. He's very pro-European, Mr. Schallenberg. I know him personally. I met him not very often, but some years ago in Brussels. He's a very reasonable man. So Mr. Linhart is also a very reasonable man. And there is 3 years no kind of election in Austria if the Greens don't break the coalition and run with the Austrian left. Yeah? But I think they are not so interested, because there is no majority here. So my theory is like this. Mr. Schallenberg, it's my appeal to you personally. Freeze all the EU funding to the non-recognizers and to the enemies of Macedonia, Kosovo, Albania, until we have achieved our foreign policy goals. Freeze also the funding to Ukraine and to Moldova. It's a bit painful for a moment, it will be a big shock, but you put a letter and you say, I veto now all these further fundings in the Coreper. I mean, it's a dramatic step. I'm saying yes, okay, it's a dramatic step, but war is much more dramatic. Yeah? We can now achieve a lot, yeah, by doing this. And that's why we should basically blackmail the others into the good things. Yeah? It's not something like blackmail, because blackmail you normally do because you want to have a financial gain, or Austria will not gain financially by this one, or you want to blackmail somebody in something bad. No, we want them to help to do the right thing, the decent thing. But they don't do that. So that's my proposal for Schallenberg. Yeah? You basically put a very hard veto, a break to the EU until these elementary things, yeah? Like that everybody joins the Ukraine sanctions, allows Macedonia to start negotiations, also Albania. By the way, they should be very fast in the European Union. I made that very clear already a number of times, that the three NATO allies can be already in 2024, and that we also give, something to Ukraine, Moldova and Georgia, the EU potential candidate status, and we should also then, for Bosnia and also for all the Balkan countries, and also for Ukraine, Moldova and Georgia, to open the Austrian labor market, to have an incentive, to allow them to adopt the euro. I made all these proposals, but to ask them as well to recognize Kosovo as a republic, and to do that now. And I think it's not very complicated, because the idea that Russia will start the Third World War or start further, they will not do that for Kosovo. They have anyhow their plans for Anschluss in Belarus, and they will also do that probably in Donbass, and we will not be able to change it anyhow. Yeah? So it's not that, but at least we can get something good, because we will be more united in the free Europe, and that's very good. And anyhow, you will be sitting together with Kosovo in NATO and in the EU, so to be recognized, makes a lot of sense. So, and maybe Russia will then attack us and destroy us all. Maybe if you think like this, then we shouldn't do anything anymore, because it's always possible. by the way, the Americans have much more nuclear weapons, and America will protect us if we do the good things and we are in NATO. So I don't think that there will be the big Russian war, and that Putin will tweet angrily or be, but it will be like this little in this comic series, the guy who is always getting very angry, and from time to time nobody cares because we simply do the good things, and we are more united. That's why I call also for Poland and for Hungary to join the Eurozone, because we need to be more united as well in the terms economically inside the European Union. Also Romania, to call also Romania, Bulgaria to be in Schengen, to be in OECD, and all these things we have not done the last 15 years because we were always afraid, Putin could be angry, or somebody could be angry, or somebody could say something against it, or AfD could something. Well, there's always somebody in a democracy who is against something. People are even against vaccination, even when that's the most rational thing to do in a pandemic. When you always try to not to do what somebody could be against, some loud minority, then you never do anything. And that's exactly what Merkel did since 2013, because it was too controversial, everything for her, so she stopped doing things. And that's not a decent way to do policy, neither internally nor externally, because then you just, receive on the receiving end of other people's activity, Putin's activity in Syria, this terrible war, and then you have the refugee crisis, because she basically stopped to passively to just watch events. So we have to be more active. And here in this constellation in Austria, it's a historic opportunity. I say very clearly, veto all the future funding immediately in the COREPER and say no to funding for Spain, for Romania, for Slovakia, for Cyprus, for Greece, for Ukraine, for Moldova and for Georgia until they have recognized Kosovo, and also for Bulgaria until it has allowed Macedonia to do it. So you do that, and it's a bit complicated. It will take 2 or 3 weeks, and they will all be angry, and they will call you, and then you say, by the way, have you done your vaccination obligation mandatory already? Have you recognized Kosovo? And the things they have to do now. I also add the vaccination because it's also a sign we need more unity in Europe. We cannot do things alone. And the problem is that in the last decade we have started again to do the crisis, we act alone. Close the borders inside the EU. Don't care what the others do, just focus on yourself. This is not good. We cannot succeed. We are too small and too compartmentalized in Europe for that approach. Even Germany is too small in the global context. So what we need is more unity, and from time to time we have to help unity and say, you want the 750 billion? Fine, but we can ask you something for that one, yeah? It's nothing bad to ask. Yeah? This is a republic which was peacefully created by this gentleman, this leader, Mr. Rugova. He cared and he tried it. Obviously then it became the military part of it, and it was necessary because of the genocidal action of Milosevic to really have a NATO mission and a liberation war. This was necessary. Somehow in the European left and in the nationalist right, they have unfortunately still today a bad conscience. But it was the absolute right thing to do. It was good. Yeah? It was good. You need military force to stop genocide. And it was exactly what we did. And I was there for that in that time, and I mean for that in today, and it needs to be defended. And that now we have some left-wing leftovers from Borrell and from Lajčák, and they are now in power. It's unbelievable. They put themselves in the key leverage position because even not in Slovakia, Lajčák has support. Yeah? But he is somehow a friend of Borrell from some socialist international, and then he puts his kind of 1990 foreign policy pro-Yugoslavia into action, and he is stopping. And then we should pay. We should pay for Slovakia, who is at the same time claiming to be a strategic partner of America and of Germany. In old tweet, Mr. Korczak says that, Korczak, yeah? And then I get... Greece is saying, we are the great partner of America in the Eastern Mediterranean. Greece is such a good ally. Mr. Payat, the ambassador, is celebrating Greek-American friendship. But when you call them, and there was now a lot of calls on Greece to recognize Kosovo, they say, no, the price is not good, the moment is not there. And the Cypriots, yeah. I mean the same. Or the Romanians, they say, we have a strategic partnership with America, it's very good. Germany, bravo, strategic partnership. Austria, great friendship, very good. And the Slovaks, yeah, and all of them. I mean, this is hypocrisy, this is bad, and we need to cut the funding. And you know, they will squeak, yeah, where are my billions? And then they will recognize, they will let the Balkans in, and then things will be moving onwards. And it will be much better. And that's the way to do it. And that's how we have to somehow condition foreign policy compliance with our common foreign policy, which in a political union you need to have. Yeah? We conditioned that on these vital questions, Kosovo, Ukraine, Macedonia, they are very important, also Moldova, Georgia. And then we say, yes, you want billions? Yes, we want to have more billions? Okay, if it's justified, yeah. It is what unions do, support the periphery. That's why we have it. We don't have the American Union to support New York. New York would have been a rich place for sure, but to support Arizona and Florida and Colorado. And they are also very rich now. That's the idea of continental political unification project like the US or the European Union. And so we definitely have to pay more for Ukraine, for Kosovo, and also for Spain. And there's a lot of issues in Greece and Cyprus. Yes, yes, yes. I'm full for solidarity and for European solidarity. But it must be a two-way mechanism. It cannot be that you are the friend on one day, but then we call you, by the way, Evans, we have this issue here, you know. And they know very well. They have an office here. And what, you want an extra price for it? You want to have a payment, or I should leave you a suitcase full of money for your political lead, or what you want? Or an extra cruiser? What is the idea? I mean, it cannot be that when they need us, they call us, and we send money or weapons or arms or support or tweets, yeah? And when we call them, there is just on the other line. I mean, this is not solidarity, this is not union, this is just a kind of exploitational system towards the richer parts where you somehow, like handicapped children, oh, you cannot ask them this because in the 19th century Greek and Serbia were friends, or they have the same religious links, or Russia could be angry, you cannot ask them this is very brutal, Günther. Oh no, don't impose Kosovo recognition on Cyprus, then there will be the Turkish Cypriot Republic, or Putin will take another piece. Yeah? You know, if somebody thinks like that you're always blackmailable because somebody will do a really terrible crime. Of course, you know, when Turkey will take this republic, and they have recognized it anyhow already, but we will never recognize it. And the same for Crimea. These are crimes we have condemned, and we will continue to condemn because we believe in European solidarity. And we will never recognize such crimes. Yeah, that's solidarity, our solidarity, and we pay, and you're not paying back. And that's not solidarity. That's somehow exploitative, unilateral disaster. And I think when we talk about more unity, we have to be serious, and we have to talk serious among friends. I mean, these are adults. These are not handicapped children in Spain, in Romania. They are serious political elites of serious NATO and EU allies. Yeah? They have their issues. Okay, you have structural fragilities in Romania. Let's discuss. Yeah. The Hungarians, I don't think the Prime Minister Marquez will mobilize his troops and take some parts of your country. We are not in the 19th century. Yeah? We are all NATO allies and EU allies. So if you have issues, you want more money, let's discuss. When you want to be bribed, no, I'm not for that. When you have some other issues, some security guarantees that the Hungarians will not attack you, okay, good. Anyhow, by the way, all these countries should do some piece of Austrian federalism. That would be much better, because maybe then your minorities will be also happier in Catalonia, in whatever, in Transylvania or in other parts, because you are basically less European than you think, because you are centralist from a socialist tradition, and that's why your minorities are not so happy with you. But it will not change anything in the statehood and in the membership. So guys, yeah, if you really annoy me very much, yeah, I will travel more to Transylvania and to Cyprus and make such videos as well if you don't recognize very fast. Anyhow, that was an empty threat. I'm just this little Günther here on this beautiful day. I just call for decency and for happiness, and I want to honor this beautiful place here, and I will stop my beautiful video now, and I say recognize the Republic of Kosovo, please, and honor this hero of European peace and freedom, Mr. Rugova. I cannot call in his name, he unfortunately passed too early, but I'm sure if he would be the president still, he would go to all these countries and you would be impressed by his charisma and his authority. And maybe some of them would have done that already. And it's now time that we support, in Austria, we supported independence, we supported reconstruction, and now Austria has a special responsibility to go to our friends as well and say, friends of friends must be friends and recognize each other. And that's the idea. Maybe we can do it without financial blackmail if there is decency, and that would be much easier. Good. Thanks a lot for my call to listen for this. And more to come from Pax Europiana here from Pristina. Bye.